Plenty of people had big ideas for what their summer might have looked like had it not been for the Delta variant, further pushing back a full reopening of society. That seemingly endless cycle of decreasing, then increasing case numbers has left some feeling as if they are in pandemic purgatory. Joining us to explain what that is and how to improve mental well-being is David Rakowski, a licensed clinical psychologist and the president of Wellington Counseling Group. Mr. Rakowski, thank you so much for joining us. So how does the COVID surge that we are in right now, how does it impact our mental health differently from previous surges?
Well, first of all, it's great to be here tonight. Thanks for bringing me on. And I'll tell you what's interesting to me is that as I talk to patients and I talk to many of my staff who talk to patients, this is so different from a year ago when we would have been talking about sort of just a pandemic fatigue. When you're in pandemic purgatory, it seems that there's no solid ground to make any plans with. We felt like there was a light at the end of the tunnel. There was a vaccine and that most people would be taking it and we'd be out of this by now, making plans, dates, all kinds of things. And now it seems that for the time being, we're kind of out of traction again.
And so, as you said, you've called it, pandemic purgatory. What is the effect of that sort of never-ending cycle of sort of not seeing the end in sight?
I think of it as a purgatory because I think there's these tasks as a society we have to accomplish before we can move on. So how does it leave us feeling? Well, we're humans, and humans evolved on this planet as big brain planners. That's what we do. When we can't do it, we get very upset. We're pretty spoiled in our society in the sense that our forebears didn't have quite the ability of stable society that we have to do that. But now we're getting a taste of what it's like to not have the stability we thought we had. So, am I seeing hopelessness? Yes. I'm seeing depression? Yes. I'm seeing a lot of anger. But I'll tell you that the news yesterday of a Pfizer FDA full approval has given some people I'm talking to a little boost.
You've talked about like being able to plan for the future, and it gives all of us something to look forward to, but also just to know what to expect in our lives. And why is that important to us? Why do we need that?
We crave the ability to plan. And, we're not just a single system moving through our lives. We are embedded in multiple systems. And all these things rely on sort of a planning and coordinating with each other. And that is just out the window, at least for the time being. And until we can get solid footing and the ability to make those plans we started making over the last several months again, I think there's going to be a lot of frustration, particularly for people who aren't used to dealing with frustration.
In the meantime, how do we escape pandemic purgatory?
Well, there is no escape, but I think it's fair to say that there's a way to embrace this period because it won't be here forever. And I think it's important for us to recognize that, life is not always so certain, that we may have been living for a long time with this illusion that things are certain and there's all kinds of ways that we can plan for the future. But Mother Nature tells us that it's not so. And what that means is that we can sleep on it. We can take a breath. We can not be pushed into making these decisions and wait another day and feel it out and learn to be okay with that until we can start planning again.
With that said, and knowing that that is the case, how do people sort of build hopefulness when the future is difficult to see?
I've always found that when we talk to people we trust and talk to people who know us and talk to people we love and care about, these things become ultimately accomplished and easier to get through. So stay connected to some kind of a affiliation group or friendships and buddies that you can turn to when you're getting to that point of frustration.
And one such group that, of course, is facing a lot of pressure right now, parents, students, teachers, school staff, as schools head back into the classroom, many of them in person. What advice do you have for folks who are going back into the classroom and are nervous about making that transition?
Well, first of all, make sure that you are protected and make sure that your child is protected. I'm not an epidemiologist, but I follow the science. And, as soon as you can get a vaccine, get that vaccine unless your doctor tells you it's a bad idea. As soon as your kids are eligible for it, make sure that they get that vaccine. And in the meantime, just remember that the mask is the best way to protect us and protect each other.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there. Good advice from Dr. David Rakowski at the Wellington Counseling Group. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.